My neighbor kept destroying my garden for months. So I built something that made him regret it instantly. So a couple of years ago, I moved into a small house with a nice backyard. It wasn't huge, but it had enough space for a little garden. Gardening was something I really enjoyed. After work, I would spend time planting vegetables, flowers, and small plants. Everything was peaceful for the first few weeks. Then I met my neighbor. His name was Greg. Greg lived in the house next to mine, and from the very first day he made it clear he wasn't exactly friendly. The first time we talked, he walked over to the fence while I was watering my plants. "Greg, you better not let those plants grow onto my side." "Me, don't worry, I'll keep them trimmed." He just grunted and walked away. At first I thought he was just a grumpy guy. But things slowly started getting worse. One morning I walked outside and noticed several of my plants had been completely crushed. The soil was scattered everywhere like someone had stepped on them. At first I thought maybe an animal had done it. But the next day, it happened again. This time I noticed something strange. The damage was only happening near the fence, the side closest to Greg's yard. A few days later I finally saw what was happening. Greg's large dog was running straight through the fence gap and into my garden. The dog would run around, dig holes, and destroy everything. I went over to Greg's house to talk about it. "Me, hey, your dog keeps getting into my yard and destroying my garden." Greg barely looked at me. "Greg, dogs run around. That's what they do." "Me, could you at least fix the fence so he doesn't come through?" Greg shrugged. "Greg, not my problem." I couldn't believe it. So I fixed the gap in the fence myself. Problem solved, right? Nope. A few days later, I walked outside and saw the fence had been pushed open again. My garden was destroyed, again. At that point I realized something. Greg wasn't even trying to stop his dog. In fact, it almost felt like he was letting it happen on purpose. So I decided if he didn't want to respect the fence, I would build a better one. But not just any fence. I installed a motion-activated sprinkler system around the entire garden. Basically, whenever something moved near the plants, the sprinklers would blast water instantly. A few days later I heard yelling outside. I looked through the window and saw Greg's dog running into the garden again. The sprinklers activated immediately. Water sprayed everywhere. The dog panicked and ran straight back into Greg's yard, soaking wet. Greg came outside yelling, "Greg, what the hell is this?" I stepped outside calmly. "Me, it's a sprinkler system." He looked furious. "Greg, your stupid water soaked my dog." "Me, then maybe keep him out of my yard." Greg tried to argue, but there was nothing he could do. After that day, his dog never entered my garden again. And surprisingly, Greg also stopped talking to me completely. Honestly, it made the neighborhood a lot more peaceful. Sometimes the best revenge is simply protecting your peace.